Hello and welcome to today's upload. It's Caesar's cycling from Gardens by the Bay in Singapore, and I wanted to share the ride with you and just how beautiful this area of the world is. Now, if you want to know how to hire a bike, there will be a tutorial video of how to do this properly with regards to how the app works and everything like that, because I had to basically make it up as I went along. Now, we are cycling all the way back from Gardens by the Bay, and the walk from the hotel took me 2 hours each way the night before, and then I walked it again in the morning, and I thought, can I use the Wi-Fi to be able to download the app, to then scan the QR code, to then get on the bike? Short answer, yes. So that is how I actually managed to do it, but the tricky bit, which is what I'll show you in the tutorial, is then how you end your ride. So you have to be a little bit clever where you stop, because you need to stop outside a designated parking bay that also has a good Wi-Fi. So basically aim for a McDonald's or Burger King, drop down, free Wi-Fi, and jobs are good. So we've got a lot of bits and pieces to have a look at within this video. I will be adding in photos as we go, because I want to be talking about different bits and pieces, and I guarantee I won't turn the camera in the right direction. But you've got the beautiful water to the right hand side, and then if we get to the end of this bridge and turn left, you have all these stunning buildings. That's where the photos will probably start appearing from. Now, bearing in mind I am on a single gear bike with a shopping basket on the front, I am holding a camera in one hand, and the other hand is over a brake that does not work. I still get competitive later on in the video and try and start to overtake a load of people. So, for a little bit of fun, in the comments below, how many people do you think I overtake? And how many times do you think I get overtaken? Because these bikes are very, very popular, and they are everywhere, and they're obviously really easy to do when you get the Wi-Fi. And there are two types of brands. So you saw the two colours at the start of the video. That's all the stuff that we will cover in sort of like the how-to guide, basically how to cycle around Singapore. That'd be the easiest thing to call it. So just keep your eyes peeled for that video. And now we're just going to soak in the sights and sounds of the beautiful area that we're in. So the place that we have just left is outstanding. I'm -1 already, that's not gone well. So it was an outstanding place that we've just come from, and now it's the ride itself, getting into the marina, and there's lots of different bits and pieces to see. We go past all the volleyball courts and the pitches, and just the smell and the atmosphere. If you could take that back with you, or I could get that out of the camera and share that with you, that was something very, very special indeed. Because it's just amazing with how hot it was during the actual daytime. More and more people waited to come out into the evening, and I think this is on a Tuesday night, I think we are at the moment, maybe? It's definitely, it's not a weekend night, that's for sure. And there were so many people out on a school night, it was nuts. But it was just amazing to see. So you can see these buildings in the distance, and obviously you can now see I've just added a photo into the left hand side where it was done at night, where I stupidly walked all of this because I didn't know how far it actually was. Because like I said, with the SIM card not working and not having Google Maps, you basically went blind, followed the signs, hoped for the best. I explored, I conquered, I turned back round, and I cried. But you can see you've got the big wheel in the background, and then I do pan the camera around ever so slightly. But the boarding to the right hand side, that used to be a cut through. So instead of having to go all the way up this way to then turn right, you used to be able to cut through it, and it was a little bit quicker. But they are in the process of doing something very, very special there. So if you do catch one of the pictures on the front, it does look like it's going to be a breathtaking thing. I think that is going to be opening up again in 2027. Now, this was filmed in 2024, so it's a good few years yet until it is going to be open. But if you are watching this from the way from the future, let me know how that area turned out, because the amount of work that they were doing in there was crazy. And the amazing thing was, and you'll see this in a photo now, that they had cut around trees and branches to put the boarding in. They didn't actually cut the trees down. So just here now, actually I don't need to add the photo, to the right hand side you can see that the branches are coming through the high boarding, and they've just put the boarding up, cut it, and it's just one of those things that certain countries would have just, right, I'm going to chop that off and don't not worry about it. But they did it everywhere. You can see there was so many different branches that came through, and they did it for every single one. So nothing got cut back. It was very, very green. It felt very fresh around this way as well. And you can see how wet it is on the ground because it just had an absolutely massive downpour. So it was a it was an interesting experience walking around one of the actual big gardens and then just watching the rain on the roof as everybody is running around getting absolutely drenched as they go. And then all of a sudden it comes out, the sun comes back out, the rain goes away, and it gets very, very warm again very, very quickly. But to the right hand side, like I said, it is a huge area. And again, to the left hand side, with all the other photos that have been added in, it is part of the Grand Prix as well, so you can actually see some of the Grand Prix if you keep going up in a straight line. Because I was stupid on the first night and I turned right instead of turning left, I actually walked another half hour the wrong way and ended up walking to one of their stadiums, and that did look very, very good as well. So I think that was the Singapore National Stadium that I actually saw, which is one of the photos that have just appeared as well, and that was me getting lost. But I saw something that I never knew would have been there, nor would I have seen it either. But you can see just on the artwork and how many people are cycling about that it is a very, very popular thing. Now I do start to speed up. I'm not going the slowest at the moment, but I do start to pick up once I actually raise the saddle up, because as it stands right now I am sat really low down and it is quite uncomfortable. But I know once I get around this corner I could then readjust the actual saddle, because this strip here is really, really busy. Because if you keep going in a straight line, you've actually got to get off the bike and you've got to walk for like 30 seconds to be able to get back on it again, because there's like a big skateboarding thing in the middle. Or if you turn right where we are, that is a little bit quieter, and then you meet up with everybody in the marina, and that's where it gets very, very busy. But you can see you can hire all different kinds of bikes as well. So there is a hire place on the marina, but you pay quite a lot of money per hour. Whereas what I did was very, very cost effective. It cost probably 2 or 3 Singapore dollars, to be honest. So it wasn't that bad by the time I had actually unsubscribed to it and all that kind of thing. It was definitely worth doing. It saved me at least an hour and a half, easy hour and a half. And then, like I said, it was a nice gentle walk back to the actual hotel room, so that was quite nice. Now as we keep coming up again, all of this to the right hand side is all of the stuff that they are redesigning. It looks like there's going to be new walkways in there. It looks like there's going to be new restaurants in there. So I think that is Bay East by the Bay. I think that's what that says. So at Bay East Garden is what that is going to be. So you can give that a Google and you are more than likely see some photos of that. Now a lot of people actually stopped just here. I did as well, because it's a perfect photo place just to take a photo of all of the Grand Prix bits and pieces and a lot of other bits and bobs like that. So it is a really, really nice little place. Right, so this is me now trying to adjust different bits and pieces. So we will skip this and we can finally get going. So the saddle has been changed, the brakes still don't work, but it is a good bit of fun. I've got the camera holding it a little bit better. So you can see just the volume of cyclists that are just always coming up and down this way. In the evening when I walked it the night before, there was so many different bikes that you could obviously just get on if you wanted to, or everybody was cycling down this way because they have the amazing light show. So keep your eyes peeled for those videos that'll be opening up in that playlist for everything regarding to Singapore. And I do honestly highly recommend you getting one of these bikes just for ease, because it saves so much time. So I think it took me, I think it was just over 2 hours each way from the marina. That's not including the hotel. So I think I did a 5-hour return walk, plus walking around all the bits and pieces in the evening as well. And then I did a walk in the morning. So that was all done on like my first exploring day. So I did that on the first day, did this on the second, then I did Universal Studios on the third, and I did Legoland Malaysia on the fourth, and then I flew over to somewhere slightly different. But I highly, highly recommend just getting on these bikes because they are super easy to use. So keep your eyes peeled for the tutorial video. But yes, the trick is, if you do not have a local SIM card, just go to somewhere that has Wi-Fi, like Burger King or McDonald's or anywhere else like that, and the parking bays for the bikes will be close enough to the Wi-Fi where you can just download the app, get on the bike, and then you're guaranteed to have Wi-Fi all round Gardens by the Bay. So when you park up, you can then just sign yourself off, and then it just charges you that way, and then you can just do it in reverse the other way. You would literally save yourself hours if you were just cycling steady. But I do believe it was 11.7 kilometers or something stupid, just what we're doing now. So we made good time. Obviously the video does cut off, so do run out of memory card, but we do get up a fair way before it runs out, and it will just get busier and busier as we go. So every 2 kilometers you've got like a different bit where you can eat, you've got a different play area, you've got different shopping complex. One of them have a Starbucks, one's got McDonald's, one's got a Burger King. It's all different bits and pieces like that. And as we go through all of these trees, and obviously it looks very, very pretty, don't forget I will start getting competitive, and you will see some sensational overtaking going on as well. So I think I'm -2, so that is now -1 because we've just done that person on the inside and we are away. Now there are places that you can actually stop off on the way down as well, so you have got little areas coming to the right hand side where you can just stop off, and there are some like open garden bits on the roof just there as well. But what I really appreciated walking down was all of the trees, because without those trees on the first day I walked down, I would have burned so badly. I had suntan lotion on, but it was just piercing hot. It was at the point of even where all the workers were just sitting under all of the different trees for shade, because it was very, very hot. And then in the evening it did have a weather warning for that day and the following day as well, for abnormal weather conditions with regards just to the heat. And I just happened to be out in it most of the day, but I survived it because I was clever enough just to utilize all of these trees. And you can see where the path is just behind that red line where those two are jogging. All of those trees actually go over that little path, and it just keeps you very, very well sheltered, which is fantastic. Now as we come around this corner, this is where you can bank off to the right hand side. And then there is this little area with the rooftop here to the right hand side as well, where you can just get up and you can just get going with regards to just having a look at some different bits and pieces. Here's another sneaky overtake. We're just taking them on the outside, and then you can see how the line system works. So you've got the yellow line in the middle as the divider, gone for a double overtake on that one, and then obviously the yellow line to the red is where the cyclists are, and then from the red to the outer edge on both sides is where you walk. Now this side is obviously a lot narrower than the other side walking, but it's so simple. You just stay to the left. There's no near accidents, nothing like that. There are hundreds and hundreds of people cycling around, and it's just an amazing thing. As you can see, the road is to the left hand side, so if you wanted to get a taxi, you could literally just get a taxi from the hotel room, no matter where you're staying. And like I said, probably already in the voiceover, I've done this voiceover split because I actually lost my voice during the first 7 minutes, so I had to stop. So we are like a week later, so I have kind of forgotten what I actually said at the start of the video, so I do apologize. But you can just get in from your hotel into a taxi and then just shoot down if you need to. And there is the hotel already available in the hotels and accommodations playlist, and of course the Singapore playlist as well. So for me it was a spot on location with regards to where this hotel actually was. Really easy to get about. Obviously, like I said, it's difficult to an extent not having Google Maps. It's something that I've always relied on, where I normally just go out and explore, and then you know that you can get back. But as this was such a far distance, I was very lucky that as long as you just went in a straight line and went in a straight line, it wasn't too bad. And it is signed. You do have a few signs, but then you do get to the point of where they've got all the building work in, and then that's where I got a little bit confused. I wasn't too sure if you were supposed to go left, you weren't supposed to go right, but you just follow the volume of people to an extent. And then when you get to the F1 bit right at the very top, that's where you just turn left and then just obviously walk or cycle in a straight line. And then in a few years time, or depending on when you're watching this and it's already open, the new bit, I think I said by 2027, will all be open, and that will look brilliant as well. But you can see always people running, lots and lots of different people cycling, just doing lots of different bits and pieces. Other people cycling very quickly because obviously they're on a completely different type of bike. So it is just a really nice thing. But it's very interesting how they got it laid out, because this is just like the bigger park bit closer to the garden. And then when we go over the bridge, you'll see how it changes when we get close to the water. And then we'll have lots of the little different bits and pieces to have a look at as we go through. And then that's where we start getting closer to all of the shops and different bits and pieces like that. But we are already halfway through for time. So if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. I wasn't too sure whether to do this with a voiceover or just to do this with music, but I thought I'd just do it with a voiceover and then maybe re-upload it if you want to, just with some music. But this is the one of two bridges. Now, surprisingly steep, I'm not going to lie. You did end up blowing a little bit when you got a little bit further up, but it was very, very simple with regards to how they've got this in a straight line, because the roads underneath were snaking around everywhere, and you can just see that they've just tried to make this as simple and as easy as possible for everybody to get from point A to point B, and I really do appreciate that. And obviously, like I said, walking around on that first day, picking up where all the different bits and pieces were on the map, it was just nice to explore, soak it all in. But you could spend a huge amount of time just having a look at all the other bigger buildings, and more than likely having to get into a taxi and going a little bit further in if you need to. But where the hotel was, I reckon you could have got to quite a few other places if you either had a map with you or you printed off the instructions of what way to go, because there was a lot of different bits and pieces within sort of 30-40 minute walk. And obviously it's quite nice just to soak all of that in, and it's obviously just cheaper than getting a taxi anyway, and it does make a big difference. So that was a very near miss on that one. That lady was on her phone, I do believe, and I had a slight heart attack coming down there, which is the quickest I could possibly go, and I couldn't slow down anymore. But you can see coming straight down, and then this is now where the sort of everything changes. The feel of this place changes with regards to how it starts to get nice and lively. The first hire bike place is on the left hand side. That's where you can hire the much quicker bikes, but you can also hire those big pedalo things as well, where you can have like a group of 4, and then you just go up and down in a straight line. To the right hand side now is where the runners are, so you can see there's actually like a running loop on the right hand side, and there's a lovely amount of water to the right. To the left hand side, that's where you've got lots of the bigger buildings now, and then you will every sort of 2 kilometers have the different bits and pieces. And as we get further and further in, trees start to turn to water magically, and then we have a bit of sand, and then we'll see some volleyball. If I could have captured the smell and the atmosphere and the environment for everybody, I wish I could have brought that home, because it was a very, very special place in the evening to walk around when it was a little bit cooler. People were celebrating birthdays, they were doing horrific karaoke, but they were just having a really, really nice time. So you can see just to the left hand side there's a little bit of colour. That is some of the first shops just in there. That's like a little parking bit as well, and that's where you can go in. Like I said, I will be adding photos randomly throughout all of this upload, and obviously you would have seen them already. I would have overlaid some other random footage of the hotel and also the gardens as well, so you can just see what is to come with regards to the future uploads or what has already been uploaded. Now the water is starting to appear to the right hand side, and you can see all the vehicles now to the left hand side. So that is where some of the, it's not so much of a shopping complex, but they're just in clumps. So that, a lot of them would have been just parked up in there just to come down and maybe go for a run. The first day, because like I said, it's just rained, and I am coming back what is technically my second full day on the ground in Singapore. We had a huge downpour and it cooled off nicely. By the time I started to walk back to the hotel, it felt like you were melting. But to the left hand side there, that is another bike, that's where you would drop your bikes off. So just there is one of the parking bays if you need to, but I got a very, very funny feeling that that parking bay is a little bit too far away from the Wi-Fi. So you'd have to almost walk your bike up and then activate the Wi-Fi and then go back and scan the QR code. But you've got to be careful, because it will put a lock on the tyre, so you then can't push it. So they are a very, very clever system, but at the same time, just be careful how you try to unlock your bike. Now, we are coming into these seating areas to the right-hand side. Now, they are everywhere, and they are fantastic with regards to just having groups of people sat underneath. On the first day, and I think the last day when I came back down, all of them were being used. Loads and loads of snacks underneath. People just bought loads and loads of bags of shopping, and they were just underneath there, just eating, drinking, and having a really nice time, which is obviously the point. when you are in a nice group of people. So there, and it's a lot of people that were there as well. And again, you can now see it's starting to get busier and busier and busier with regards to the cyclists. So there's more and more coming down, there's more and more coming up, because as we get closer into the middle, that is where all the beaches will appear from, and then that is also where the volleyball courts will come from. And then you have a little bit bigger eateries on the left hand side as well. But you can see it's just a straight line. It is super simple and super easy. So hopefully, if this video has helped you at all, please let us know, because it was something that I didn't know whether to do. I didn't know whether to just do it as a sort of like a quick time lapse, or just do this so you could see absolutely everything. But there are boats coming into the right hand side which are beautiful, and then when you just stand up by the water, so it's just where it forks off there to the right hand side on the path, that is now where you can get really close to the water's edge, and this is now where it's all opened up. So we are going to be seeing a lot of people over the next couple of minutes. You can see more and more cars to the left hand side, and you'll start to now see more and more cyclists and just more and more everything. In the evening, you wouldn't have been able to overtake anybody. That's how busy this strip would have been, and the people walking was ransacked. You couldn't have got on a bench, and people just sat down trying to, you know, catch the last little bit of sun or watching the sunset. Whatever it is anybody wanted to do, everybody was just in their own world, minding their own business, having a really nice time. Now you can see what we are about to come up to, which I do believe, because I just recognised that little bit that we've gone over, the volleyball bits are now to the right hand side, I think. So we have got a lot of grass and everything to the left, because there's somebody there walking their dog. I do believe that is the dog bit there. Yes, this is the bit I would have walked over to come out from the hotel. So I am now cycling up to the next bike bit, which I think I actually end up just going a little bit further on, just to try and soak it all in, to then turn back round anyway, because the next bike bit isn't 9 minutes away. But you can now see how the tree divide's gone. So if you pay attention to the right hand side, you can see where people are walking, where people are running. You've got the bits that are much more open, so you can now start having your barbecue pits. You start spotting all of them, because there was some a little bit further afield, but you can see big groups of people to the right hand side. They're all having their big barbecues, and then there's volleyball bits going on. There's also like a volleyball league as well. When I came round in the evening after the Universal trip, that was something very special to see. Just walking this in the sunset was beautiful. Now there's lots and lots of photos and everything like that, which obviously you will be able to see and coming up in a future video as well, because I do believe I've got maybe 5 or 6 different types of videos from Singapore. And again, we'll have a good look round by the garden. There is a lot of Universal videos, a lot of theme park videos to come up from Universal Malaysia, Universal Singapore, and of course Legoland Malaysia is on the Brick Life Travels channel, where you are watching everything travel related on the Global Life Travels channel. So I have got 2 channels set up. That's why this one has a low membership count, or a low subscriber count, shall I say, but hopefully it will carry on growing in the near future. But everything to the right hand side now changed. You've got lots of people walking dogs, you've got lots of benches, you've got lots of places where you can eat, and as we just keep coming up further and further, it will just get busier and busier. And this is obviously a very quiet time as well, so you can, like I said, imagine this at peak, where you've got all of these bits where you can see just large volumes of people just sat there having barbecues. You can just see more and more people now cycling, more and more people walking around. It would have been like that for kilometres, but now we're sort of almost in the central hub. And yes, the smoke now from the barbecues, you can see everybody's got the barbecues lit, and it was just, the smell was just amazing with everybody cooking there, because each one of those bays underneath, we got that big yellow slide as well. Every single one of them was cooking food. They've all got their own barbecue pit. Just behind that yellow slide, that is where the volleyball bit is. You can see the beach now to the right hand side. Just to my left is a huge sports bar as well. That thing was massive, where they played all the Premier League games, and a lot of the English football was being played there. So if you wanted to go down there at sort of 10, 11 o'clock at night, because don't forget it's a big time difference, you would have caught the mid-afternoon kickoff. And then as we go past the sports bar, it carries on to the right hand side with regards to all the different places you can eat. Those bags to the left hand side, they're not rubbish, they are leaves, where the people have gone around with their big blowers and they've just picked up all of the different leaves, sweep everything up to make it super tidy. So that's how clean this place is. They are always doing bits and pieces to work on. But that is pretty much everything, I do believe. So now, with regards to where we're going, I think we're just going for an explore, because I was stupid and I actually overshot now where I needed to go. So it got to the point of where I was thinking, I'm sure I've cycled too far, because I was looking for the McDonald's, and the McDonald's symbol is on the opposite side of the building, and you can't see it unless you're cycling back the other way. So I completely missed it. So when you're cycling this way, you can see the Burger King. Look at that water to the right hand side. But when you're looking for a McDonald's, you've got to pay attention, because it is not that far. And I got far too carried away trying to overtake people that I just forgot how far I had gone up. Because it got to the point of where I thought to myself, I hadn't actually walked this far. I have done this on a walk already, and this will be available in a different highlight upload as well, where we actually see everything with regards to the water and everything in a little bit much more detail. That's where these overlaps are coming from, that extra little bit of footage, as well as the sort of the photos as well. But it's just getting busier and busier. The sun is starting to come back out again. You can see how quickly the ground is starting to dry up as well, because it hasn't rained for like half an hour, and it's very, very humid. It is very, very warm, very, very sweaty as well. So I was rather toasty by the time I got off this, but I finally ended up spinning around in a minute and then grabbing myself a bite to eat, because I was also very, very hungry at this point, because like I said, it was a long walk down, and then it was also a long day of just walking around the garden. And then I was very lucky that I was inside one of the big gardens when it rained, so I didn't get wet at all. And then I came back out and just cycled back and missed all the rain, because it's the first ever time I've never ever taken a waterproof with me, and I didn't think I would have needed one, and I really did need one. But luckily I did not get collared at all. Now the signs to the right hand side, that said C, so that red bit strip, the top and bottom with all the writing on, that lets you know what is in that zone. So it'll let you know, for example, barbecue pits, volleyball, where you can go to, the shops, if you can camp there, if you can't camp there. Because if you carry on going in a straight line a little bit further, then obviously you would see all of the pitches. There is first aid bits and pieces up there. There's lots and lots of different bits and pieces that you can see and explore, obviously, as we're going. And I'm doing my very, very best to share all the different bits and pieces with you, but like I said, you'll see it in a much greater detailed video at a later date if you want to watch that kind of thing. And it is a very, very nice walk, and it's much, much hotter as well. So luckily it was a little bit cooler, because I did manage to film all this and the camera didn't overheat. It just ran out of memory cards, because I filled the memory card up completely. I left the other memory card for the following day to film the theme park, so I needed to have a full card for that. And yes, I used that one as well. I think I went through nearly 5 memory cards on this trip, which was a lot of hours of stuff. So I think each memory card holds 4 hours. So yeah, there's a lot of footage for me to get through with regards to all of these different bits and pieces for you guys and girls on the Global Life Travels channel. And then I've got all the Lego content for the Brick Life Travels with regards to all the Lego stores and the Legoland parks and all the different Lego sets as well. But yes, the water now, this is where you would have just wanted to have stopped. So you can see there's lots of people sat down. This is like the perfect seating opportunity now, where you can just sit down, soak in the view. I think we're getting quite close to the first aid bit as well. They've got everything up here if you need it, so you don't have to worry. The only thing that they didn't have for me was common sense and a map, because I am well past now where I should have gone. I needed to have turned around a long time ago, but you can keep laughing at me for the next minute and 45. So I think I soon realised when we get to this next bit just here, actually how far back I should have turned around and gone the wrong way. Now I don't think you can cycle these bikes to the hotel. So I think these bikes have a radius, they have a zone, and they have like a GPS built in, so they know exactly where you are going from point A to point B, because that's actually how they charge you. But coming up to this bit is the bit what I thought was the McDonald's, and you realise I'm slowing down because I'm a moron and I'm in the wrong section. But look at those palm trees, look at the water. The photo opportunities that you've got here are just breathtaking. But guys, now I am completely lost and I have cycled completely the wrong way for your entertainment, and we have basically done almost a full strip of the bay. If you were to keep going up a little bit further, you can actually pitch up for the night in your tents as well, and there's a whole area where you can just relax and just chill out and just sleep for the night. That would be very, very interesting to find out the cost on that, so I will do a little bit of research for future videos where we can sort of do a catch up of costs of everything and just how everything is to get around and just that kind of thing, because I find those videos helpful for myself when I'm trying to budget and plan different bits and pieces, so hopefully I can make it a little bit easier for you. But you can see now it is getting quite busy with lots and lots of people coming in. That's why I thought I really had gone too far. But guys, that is it, and I am done. So if you can like this video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. If you were keeping count in the comment section with regards to how many times I overtook or was overtaken, then please let me know. I think it was close, but you can see now all the tents and everything to the right hand side, so we did go all the way up to the top. This is the moment I realised I was a moron and I am about to turn around and come all the way back down again. But it's a huge area because, again, you've got the water, you've got the beachfront, I do believe, and you've got your barbecue bits, and there's loads and loads of people just relaxing and having a very, very good time. But guys, if you can like this video again, subscribe to the channel, that'd be absolutely fantastic. But as always, thank you very much for watching. You lot take care, and I'll catch you in the next one. Ta-da.